Marketing, sales, and service. Here we go with a new assignment. Should be a pretty simple one, especially if you did the rough draft of your resume in the first semester. All we're doing really is improving and converting your rough draft into a final draft by using some more tools that I've put onto the Google Classroom assignment. So let's go. If you don't know how to find where your first semester resume was, let me show you how you can do that. So if you're in Google Classroom and you go to semester 1, so when you're looking at all the classes that you have, I've kept the semester 1 class active so you can do this. So let's say I went here to the first semester. Second semester has an S2 next to it, so if you just go to first semester and you go to the rough draft assignment, and you can find the attachment that you have there. So if you click on it once, and then you can go over here and save it. So, well, you could do print and then download like this. Or if you go to your Google Drive, which I will do here, go to my student one so you can see what the student view looks like. You can go to your classroom folder like this, and you can go to the class, like I said. I'm going to make this a list view so I can read them better. And if I go to semester 1, I will see all my assignments that I turned in. So here, right here is my non-teacher resume that I can save from Google Drive. So there's a couple different ways you can find it. So now that I have my rough draft, I'm going to go back to the current assignment, which is right here, the final draft of your resume. I'm just going to open this up and read through it. So you're going to use your rough draft resumes from semester 1 and the resources below, and you're going to build a final draft version of your resume. So sections include personal information, education, job experience, special competencies or skills and activities, and then a separate reference pages. And it's not limited to that, so if there's other things that you put on there, especially like volunteer experiences, you might want to put that in there as well. If you have little to no job experience, that's something you might want to include. On this assignment, when you're attaching your final resume, final draft resume, you also need to give me a full paragraph comment, at least 75 words, describing the changes, the additions and the subtractions you made from your rough draft to your final draft. So for example, this paragraph here that I've written out is 87 words, so that meets that 75 word threshold. So I said my rough draft resume needed a few minor adjustments. I discovered a few grammar and spelling errors in the experience section that have been corrected. Also, based on watching the high school resume YouTube video, I decided to add a skills section where I included the following skills: customer service, hospitality, Google Drive, and Microsoft Office Suite. Lastly, I failed to include a reference page the first time for my rough draft. I have created a 3-person reference page for submission with my final draft this time. So that's all I need when you turn it in, and I'll show you how to do that. So some of the things that I have put on here that are going to be helpful for creating your final draft. Here's a YouTube playlist that has lots of great resources. So how to design your resume, choosing the right format. So if you want to change it up from your rough draft, you might look at those, what you should include. So they talk about, people with job experience versus not, common resume mistakes to avoid. In the skills section, writing your resume skills section, do's and don'ts. So maybe I'll actually play that during this video, just so that everybody has access to that or has been exposed to that at least once. And then I think I'll play this one as well, since these are short videos, creating your resume summary statement, which is something that is very important. So in fact, let's play a couple of these.
The skills section of your resume can make a huge difference during a job search, no matter what kind of experience you have.
Effective skills section. First, don't include obsolete or irrelevant skills. Obsolete skills make your resume look out of date, and while you may have valuable experience from other parts of your career, you should only include skills related to the job you're pursuing. Next, list your most relevant skills first. Make each entry brief and specific, but feel free to include as many relevant entries as you need. When it comes to character traits, don't list them as skills. Although qualities like hardworking and dedicated are positive, simply listing them won't win over hiring managers. Instead, show these traits through the tasks and achievements of your work experience. Organize your skills to keep things readable. Group related entries together, such as your computer skills, language skills, and so on. You can simply list them, or if you have several skills of the same type, you can organize them into categories. Don't include anything personal, religious, or political. Personal skills are typically unnecessary and unrelated to your job search. In the US, religious or politically related skills are generally not included, but this can vary from country to country. Take the time to optimize the skills section, and it will hopefully be a highlight of your resume.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for better life.
Okay, and then the next one I wanted to show.
The skills section of your resume can make a huge difference during job search. No matter what kind of experience you have, we'll guide you through the do's and don'ts of an effective. You want to make a strong
first impression to your resume. Sometimes called a professional profile, a summary highlights your most relevant skills and achievements and can help convince employers to give your resume a closer look. Summaries should not be confused with objectives, which are 1 or 2 sentence statements that explain your career goals. In most cases, we do not recommend using objectives, because objectives focus on what you want, whereas summaries focus on what you can offer, which is far more interesting to employers. Summaries can be made in 2 different styles. You can use bulleted lists to showcase your experience, or you can use the paragraph format if you prefer a more personal feel. Summaries are popular because they let hiring managers find important information quickly. They're best suited for job seekers who have at least a few years of work experience and need to boil it down into an easily read format. When placing your summary, you should put it at the top of your resume, under your contact info so it catches the hiring manager's eye. Keep in mind that the summary is not required on a resume, so take the time to consider if it's right for you. With that said, a well-written summary can distill your work history into concise highlights, potentially adding clarity and value to your resume.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for better life.
Okay, so that's just a couple. You can watch through a few more of those if you think those will be helpful for when you're building your final resume. Now, I've built this link to a folder called Resume Samples so that you can see I've got 3 here. One for people who have some experience, one that for someone who's got quite a bit of experience, job experience, and then one with no experience. So if you click on these, you can actually kind of get an idea. This is the one with someone with no paid experience, but this is perfect for a high school student who hasn't had a job yet, but maybe you were a pet sitter or did some volunteer work, so you might take a look at that. It's got a skills section, it's got an award and achievement section, so for a lot of you, this would be a nice template to work off of. And then you've got the other 2 here that you can take a look at. I won't go through all 3 because you guys can do that. Here's a nice example based on that video we just watched. Qualification summary is right here, which is great. You've got your education section, experience highlights, which is some of their jobs that they've had as right out of college, basically, is this one. So that is there to help you out. And here are a couple videos that are very helpful for getting that final draft done. I won't show both in this video, but I'll show the first one. And then these websites are very helpful, which basically just put into writing what these videos talk about. So I'll show this real quick.
Hi, my name is Philip Chesney and welcome to another episode of Career Prep. In today's lesson, we're going to see how to write resumes for high school students using Microsoft Word. Are you in high school and looking to get a part-time or seasonal job? If yes, you're going to need a resume. As a high school student, you most likely do not have any formal work experience. So we're going to explore all the other assets and experiences you have to create single-paged and straight to the point. In most cases, you can include your education, so the school you're attending, your grades, or preferably your GPA, some badge, volunteer experiences, sports clubs, and other extracurricular activities that you participate in. Go into Microsoft Word, and up here in the search area, you can type in resumes or student resume. So I actually have one right here called student resume. So we're going to use this one. So the first part in the top section is your name and contact information. All the way to a high-level executive. You'll need to include contact information. So let's get started. Now, for our next section, a summary or an objective. A summary lists your top skills, but it's totally optional. Some people add it, some people don't. Let's look at an option that would be applicable for high school students. Honor roll student and active in soccer and track. Experience in customer service, sales, and creating a great customer experience. Straight A student in history, English, social studies, and MVP in soccer. For our next section, education. Since we're in high school, we're only going to need one of these, so let's erase the bottom one. For the education section, we should present the name and location of the school, and additionally, if you have good grades, include your GPA and anything else that you believe that you should be. Let's dive down to work experience. You must be thinking, man, I've never had a job. Don't worry. So let's add a few experiences below. For the first one, we will add a formal one, and then we're going to add it. So for our first one, let's go with Burger King and working at McDonald's. So in this case, let's look to show what we achieved, what we did, and if there were any impacting results. Serve customers with a smile and help guarantee a great meal experience. Assisted trainer to onboard 2 new hires. And now for our informal experience. So for this one, I'm going to add lawn care. And now a short description. Currently take care of 4 lawns each 2 times per month. Constantly aim to deliver a high quality service and push for word of mouth recommendations. Acquire 2 new customers from my current clientele. Now that we've finished adding our job experiences, let's dive into the achievement section. For your achievements, think of awards that you have received in and out of school. Did you get a reward at school for a subject, a sports club, or an extracurricular activity? Adding the achievement section adds value to resumes. Show off your achievements. This could be on a continual or a one-time basis. Of course, if it is on a continual basis, it will look better. in El Salvador. Salvador helping reconstruct an orphanage after an earthquake. Skills, courses, software, and languages. For this section, you should add your knowledge of specific areas. You might be fluent in a foreign language like Spanish. You'll be great at using Adobe Photoshop. These are a must-have resumes for high school students, as these are often included on job descriptions and needed by employers. And for our last one, activities and interests. Activities and interests give the recruiter a better idea of who you are outside of school. Do you like to play soccer, piano, football? Do you like art, drawing, or music? Present these interests and activities here. Our goal is to create a positive impression and get our foot in the door for the interview. After we have added everything, look and feel a bit much better. So is everything aligned how we want it? These are aligned. So there you have it, your first resume as a high school student. I hope that you liked today's lesson and that you'll be able to put it into practice and create your first resume as a high school student. If you have any questions,
Okay, so that's that. I highly encourage you to watch this other one as well, which is specifically for people with no experience, kind of helps you tweak that resume for those people. And then from the same website, these are just kind of goes through basically what that video did, but just in text form, where you can kind of get some examples and some supporting videos as well. So basically that's it. So once you have your final draft, you've made your changes, you know the changes that you've made, so that you can give me a nice cohesive statement on what changes you made, because this is going to be part of the grade right here. Please don't skip this. Probably make that at least worth 5 of the points out of the 20. So I'm going to go to the student side and show you how to turn this in. So I'm going to go to period semester 2, and you've got the resume final draft. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to put my final draft resume. Yep, my non-teacher resume I'm going to put. And then I did make a reference page, so I want to attach that as well. That on. Yes, references for resume. Here we go. And if you put that all into one document, that's fine. If it's a PDF where it's just a resume and then the second page is references, that's cool too. And then comment. This is where you want to comment, and since I wrote this, I get to copy and paste. So do that. That's my 87 words. You need 75, at least 75 words to tell me about the changes you made. So make sure you don't skip this part where you're giving me the comment. Do that so that the attachment is put there first, and then you'll turn in. And when I go to my teacher's side, what I will see is someone turned it in. So there it is. James Cheney, he's got his final non-teacher resume right there as a PDF file, so nobody's making any changes. And then I've got my references page right there, and then I've got my comment over here that I can read through. And again, that's what 87 words looks like. So that's roughly kind of the amount of words that you want to include, just describing the changes that you made. Okay, so that's it. That's the resume stuff. I'll introduce this in class today. That's something that's going to be due like by the end of next week. So I'll see you in class.